some medals and so forth from the war. The top patch or badge is apparently from the 79th Army. That was their insignia. The bottom one is when he was an MP at the hospital just down the road from here, where a lot of the German prisoners were sent. And then we've got his dog tags from the war. And I learned something new today as well. Apparently he was shot twice. He was shot originally in the leg before he really got shot badly, which is why he's got an extra cluster, I believe, for the Purple Heart. And then I have to get him to explain to me for what he got the Bronze Star for. That one is a bit of a mystery. I haven't got out of him where he was when he was shot. He was telling me that he was in Metz, which was a really tough place, a hard battle. And that's just south of Luxembourg. Go a little farther south, you get into Nancy. He was there. So they took about 6,000 German prisoners there. And they were really scared of a counteroffensive to get him back. So they were loading up in trucks, and they tended to spread out their arms and stuff and try to take up as much room as possible. He said one of the guys in his company said he could fix that, put the bayonet on the end of his rifle, got in there and started jabbing him in the butt. Said that guy packed him in so tight couldn't move. And then next you had a little bit east of there and you got Strasbourg. He said he was there too. This stuff for the most part is just memorabilia, some of the foreign currency. His sharpshooting medallion, and then this stuff probably came off some of the Germans that he saw, lapel, buckle, badge, so forth. Luxembourg, which is of course a little east and north of Paris. Then you've got just below Luxembourg, Metz, Nancy, Strasbourg. We'll see what else we can get in the way of details later. Upon getting drafted, apparently Grandpa was sent to Camp Fannin, which was in Texas. And it was somewhere close to Tyler. He said they went into Tyler to go to church, and sometime once went in for business or for pleasure, I guess, into Gladewater. Was there in the summer, I believe July. Said they went on some forced marches. It was so hot that he didn't think he was going to make it sometimes. And occasionally a big storm coming, figured I'd cool it down. And get hit by torrential rain, and then next thing you know, sun would be back out and everything would just start steaming. Hope the glare isn't too devastating. This is the place we'd come every year or two. Yeah, the glare probably killed it. Oh well. Every year or two. To be spoiled, treated like kings by Grandma and Grandpa. Of time on the swing or playing croquet on this lawn. Hi. The truly inhumane things of life is to come occasionally to paradise where you get trees that produce grade A fruit like peaches, and you get to eat them a few minutes off the stalk, as it were, to go pull vegetables right out of the ground and get corn fresh off the stalk, and then have to go back and eat stuff from the supermarket. Oh well. Okay, well, I don't know how all this camera's working, but we'll see what's going on. This is Manaway, where Grandfather was born. It's obviously a little bit different from now. Different now than when it was then. That's the stake center. It obviously wasn't there then. Have the reservoir down there. A lot of deer hunting that goes on up in these hills. In fact, there are maybe 60 or 100 head of elk here the other day. Guess they're having a good time chowing on everybody's fields and so forth. Over that way there's a fish hatchery. You can't really see it right now. These are some of the hills. It's a heck of a lot colder up here than Brigham. I remember jogging up here one time and feeling dead and not knowing why until I passed that mile high sign. Most of those hills you can see now belong to Grandpa. So he tells me we've tramped up there a few times. Then he runs some cattle up there. Gonna head to the farm and see what's happening. So here's the farm. If I'm not mistaken, this is actually the place where Grandpa was born. I don't know if that's the same house. I think Reese built it from scratch, actually. That's my son being unhappy because he's not being attended to. And that's the setting, kind of square away to the reservoir. Stephen has lately taken over the running of the farm for the most part. Lives here. Works in Brigham as a teacher. I believe elementary school most of the time. Well, that's some of what these guys do around here. Cattle have been a pretty decent part of the farm work for the last, I don't know, who knows how long for the Jeppsens. Most of this, what you see here, they own part of or all of, and that's what the cattle often get to range through over. And then there's running the fields for the various grains they do. And then I don't know if you can make out those little elk or deer legs over there, but there's always the hunt. Yeah, here are the four-wheelers. And so on. I do believe Jewel and I got into a little trouble occasionally in one of these.